When I got my implants, they were so tight, I was stunned. I couldn't imagine it. I'm almost at the 3-year mark having my dental implants, and I just wanted to give you an idea of my ups and a few downs I've had along the way, and just to see if this is a right decision for you. In my past, I've had about 15 root canals. And so the only time I went to a dentist was when I had enough pain that I couldn't stand it. Went to a new dentist, and in the course of that examination, the dentist came back and said, well, we've got about 1.5 years worth of work to do. I don't want to spend 1.5 years in a dentist chair having teeth changed. So following the last dentist visit, I thought, is there anything I can do? At that point, I looked a little further. And as I looked, I came across Nuvia. And the thing that struck me was teeth in 24 hours. So I came back the next day, and I'm thrilled. I went right in. They put my new teeth in. And oh my gosh, the first look of these teeth, my wife has beautiful white teeth. She saw them first because I looked at her. Then they put the mirror up in front of me. Her smile.
Oh my gosh.
When I saw her smile, I started giggling because it was my way of keeping from crying. I saw in her face how special this is. Needless to say, when I saw the picture, oh, wow.
See you on back.
I'm stunned. I didn't have words at that point that I remember. When I got my implants, it was different. And so part of the process for me wasn't the pain as much as, this is weird. I'd bite my tongue, I'd bite my cheek or my lip. Not that I hadn't done that in the past with my crummy teeth. When I got my implants, they were so tight, I was stunned. I couldn't imagine it. The difference was in my teeth, I felt everything because they're connected to your jawbone, all that stuff. But this took a little bit of getting used to, and what I realized almost after the fact, my brain just took care of that on its own. I was not sitting around contemplating all the trauma I was having with my implants. And so the process for me really was easier than I anticipated. But I've had root canals on one tooth done that were multiple times more painful than anything here. And I was thrilled about that. I got here and they showed me the list because what you're told for the first 4 months, you can eat anything you can cut with a plastic fork. Well, when I heard the concept, my mind went to, well, what in the world can you eat with a plastic fork? I'm the pickiest eater I've ever known in my entire life. I don't eat hardly anything. Now, what I like, I eat a lot of. That's never been a problem. And then they showed me a list of foods, and me, the pickiest eater on the planet, had at least a dozen things I could eat that I've been used to eating every day. Soft food. Gosh, I love my wife's spaghetti. I love my wife's lasagna, but I ate fine. And again, exactly how they told me was the way it worked. One of the few downs I experienced was biting my tongue, biting my cheek, and I didn't do that often. And like we all know, if you bite your tongue one time, in that moment, you go, ouch, that hurts. And so that was no different than with my normal teeth. It just wasn't something I thought about necessarily. It just takes care of itself. Something I have a little bit of is a lisp. And I don't think I had that before. And the lisp doesn't bother me. I've been a public speaker You couldn't tell by this. I like to talk. And so the lisp doesn't affect me at all. Every now and then I'll notice it, but frankly, to have teeth like this, and if the worst thing that comes from it is a little bit of a lisp, I'm good. It just wasn't one of those things that had any deep meaning for me. For me, the discomfort truly only lasted a couple of days. And I realize after the fact that pain is unique for each one of us. What I trust and what I know is I had nothing happen to me that I had not been talked to about it beforehand. Before getting my new teeth, my teeth were gray. They were broken and crooked, and they had been gray for so long. And I understand after the fact that I had some type of periodontal disease on my teeth. And when I got these, you can use a water pick, you can floss and brush your teeth. I attempted the flossing, and I think it was more mental for me than physical. And I came to the doc here and I said, I just got this mental block about flossing. Is there anything I can do? And they said, don't worry about it. Do the water pick, brush your teeth. And so I, like most people, if you've never used a water pick, I've splashed my face on multiple occasions. One of the first things most people talk about is how much it costs. That's a big burden for a lot of folks. I had figured I was going to spend a certain amount of money just paying for what the dentist wanted in the next year and a half. And having my history with dentist, it was going to be nonstop. My understanding of my implants, it wasn't going to be an ongoing cost that I was gonna spend money forever when something broke, things like that. These are durable. I trust these things. And so one of the great things about Nuvia is they have something they're calling a cost guide that explains financing, the cost, the different options, and it really answers all the financial questions a person can have. They give examples of how people can make it affordable for themselves in a way that's legitimate, real, practical. And you can download this in the description below. 3 years ago, I just wanted teeth. I wasn't looking for friends, for family, for this. No, just put the teeth in my mouth, and because I can't imagine before Nuvia going back and hanging around my dentist's office. Oh, just want to come by and say hi. How you doing? What's going on? Not in a billion years would that have happened in my lifetime. This is a place that's family. And that wasn't anything I was looking for, wasn't hopeful about. It just is. So that's worth all the money I could ever pay. That's good stuff right there.